after capturing Rostov-on-Don on July 23, 1942, Army Group A began its offensive towards Kuban. The most powerful blow was dealt by the Germans with the 1st and 4th Tank Armies against the left flank of the Southern Front, where the Soviet 51st and 37th Armies were defending. The Soviet armies, suffering heavy losses, retreated. In the sector of the 18th Soviet Army, German forces broke through to Bataisk. However, in the sector of the 12th Soviet Army, things were worse for them, and they were unable to cross the Don River on the first day. On July 26, the 18th and 37th Soviet Armies, reinforced by 2 divisions, attempted a counterattack to restore the situation on the Don River, but this attempt ended without results. As a result, in the first 2 days of fighting, the situation for the Soviet forces sharply worsened across the entire area of operations of the Southern Front. A real threat of a breakthrough by the Germans into the Salesk area emerged. If successful, the German troops would have the opportunity to cut the Southern Front into 2 parts and open a path for their tank group to the rear of the main forces of the Soviet troops, which continued to hold positions south of Rostov. To prevent this, the Soviet command ordered, on the night of July 28, to withdraw the formations of the left flank of the front to a line running along the southern bank of the Kogolnik River and the Manik Canal. German troops, under the cover of large air forces, transferred the units of 7 Corps to the left bank of the Don, where overwhelming superiority was established, especially in tank forces and artillery. The troops of the Southern Front were unable to retreat in an organized manner to the designated lines. The gradual withdrawal turned into a rout. German forces, encountering little serious resistance, began to rapidly advance into the depths of the Kuban steppes. On July 28, the Southern Front was disbanded, and its troops were transferred to the North Caucasian Front. The front was tasked with stopping the enemy's advance by any means and restoring the situation along the southern bank of the Don. The North Caucasian Front was divided into 2 operational groups, the Don Group, 51st Army, 37th Army, 12th Army, and 4th Air Army, which covered the Stavropol direction, and the Primorsky Group, 18th Army, 56th Army, 47th Army, and 1st Rifle Corps. The 17th Cavalry Corps and the 5th Air Army, with the support of the Azov Military Flotilla, defended the Krasnodar direction. The 9th and 24th Armies were moved to the area of Nulchik and Grozny. The 51st Army was assigned to the Stalingrad front. At the same time, the German command transferred the 4th Tank Army to the Army Group B. On August 2, 1942, German troops resumed their offensive on Salsk, which developed successfully, and by August 3 they captured Voroshilovsk, formerly known as Stavropol, almost without resistance. On August 5, they captured Novinominsk. The fragmented 37th Army retreated with heavy losses beyond the Kalal and Yankel rivers, while the 12th Army was transferred to the Don Group. On the Krasnodar direction, the units of the 17th German Army were unable to break through the defenses of the 18th and 56th Armies immediately. The Soviet troops attempted to respond with a counterstrike, but were soon forced to retreat to the left bank of the Kuban. On August 6, the 17th German Army resumed its offensive towards Krasnodar. After fighting with the 56th Army, the Germans managed to capture the city on August 12. On August 10, the Azov military flotilla evacuated from the Azov coast. The German command, taking advantage of the favorable situation, decided to encircle the Soviet troops south of the Kuban. On August 6, the 1st German Tank Army captured Armavir, on August 9, Maykop, and continued its advance in the Tuapse direction. On August 12, the Germans occupied Belorechenskia, and on August 13, Tverskaya. By August 15 to 17, the offensive of the German troops was halted along the line of Samarskaya, Kotazenskia, south of Kluchovaya, and Stavropol. The Soviet troops managed to stop the 17th Army and prevent it from breaking through to Tuapse. As a result, during the first stage of the offensive, July 25 to August 19, German troops were partially able to fulfill the tasks set before them to inflict a major defeat on Soviet troops, to capture most of Kuban and Stavropol. The 1st TA advanced east along the northern side of the Caucasus Ridge to Mozdok. Soviet troops were only able to organize resistance against the enemy at the approaches to Tuapse.